MOHAND BAKIR wants answers from the police. He wants to know why his 14-year-old son and two of his friends were arrested, accused of stealing, kept in custody overnight in Paris and released without charge. Seen here in a video after their release, the boys said that during their ordeal they were subject to racial and homophobic abuse. One says he was slapped across the face.
Police were searching for a suspect who was 1.60 meters tall. So why arrest my son who was so much taller? They only stopped him because of his face, because the only thing he has in common with the suspect is the colour of his skin.
French police have a history of abusive arrests. Young people of African heritage are 20 times more likely to be stopped by police than others for an identity check, according to France's human rights watchdog. Campaigners say that officers often act with impunity. The protests over George Floyd's death in the United States have reignited debate over police racism in France and inspired similar demonstrations calling for justice for Adama Traoré, a young man who died in police custody in 2016. This mural in central Paris pays tribute to both men. Tens of thousands of people have taken part in rallies for Traoré in the country.
There was the death of George Floyd, a death that directly echoed the death of my little brother in France. And it must be said, what's happening in the United States, the exact same thing happens in France. Today, our brothers are dying.
This activist says that until France faces its colonial legacy, racism will continue to thrive.
We need a radical change, a break with the past and our system which was built on racist foundations, linked to colonisation and slavery.
Some police officers protested in Paris last week to say that accusations of racism undermine their authority and ability to keep the peace. But others say it's time the force was reformed.
For 20 years, the police have been increasingly militarized. There's a growing divide between the police and the community. So what we need is to get everyone around the table to talk, to find out what citizens want and need in their police force to feel safe.
As in the US, generations of people in France have felt shut out of a system that's supposed to protect them. With more anti-racism protests planned, the hope is that change might come. Natasha, Butler, Al Jazeera, Paris.